after last week's Manchester performance, I have snapped out of judging the idea. Man United is the worst team. Do you have confidence in Ruben Amarim? See, if they pay me, say they can't talk this thing. He said, I won't change my philosophy. Now, philosophy will be three back.
Look, Amarim, they should sack him. That's why Saturday, I need Chelsea to do a damage for me. Good evening, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Betway Malam Goal podcast. Look, guys, last Saturday, you guys were wonderful. Look, last Sunday, rather, because we pulled a surprise on you with the unannounced watch-along for the Manchester derby, and you guys showed up. It was amazing. The comment section, except that more of them were tears, you know. It was sad following the comments of the Manchester United fans and the mini banter you guys were having in the comment section. But it was wonderful, and we thank and appreciate each of you. Today, though, the agenda is simple. To review the UEFA Champions League match day 1 of the league phase, and then look ahead to the weekend's games. Daniel Cranton is here. Daniel, wonderful to have you again.
Charlie.
Why? What is I just said it's wonderful to have you again. There, no, you are pouring out your concerns about what exactly?
I just said,
I don't want to hear. Let's look. Let's start with a conversation that will excite you.
I don't go tell him. Don't go tell him what I think do for him.
You know, we just came here, got out of the car straight into the studio.
Men are trash.
we got out of the car straight into the studio.
School.
Yeah, there's no activity to report on. So, yeah. Let's start with a conversation. See, Charlie, this world, take control of your narrative. Your truth is the truth. Forget what everyone else says. No matter what they saw, no matter what they think they know.
Next time I'll record it.
Boga. So long as it is your truth, that is what's the most important.
Quick!
Charlie, Arteta. So I watched with satisfaction Arsenal's performance against Athletic Bilbao. The maturity they showed did not surprise me. It's all we've come to expect of Arteta and Arsenal. But the fact that they, for once, had the depth. This was a game without Saliba, without Saka, without Martin Odegaard. In the past, it would have been recipe for disaster. But they dispatched Athletic Bilbao in a rather hostile environment, but with minimal fuss. Arsenal fans should be excited with that performance, shouldn't they?
To be frank, it's not something I didn't expect. I've spoken a while from last season, especially at the start of this season.
Yeah.
How strong this Arsenal squad looks on paper. How, in fact, they are the second 11, if I may say, could also finish in the top 4, to be frank. They are that strong on paper. They have some really quality players. And this is even with injuries to the likes of Saka, Havertz.
I even forgot Havertz.
Yeah. They are all out. Saliba himself obviously didn't play the game. And you look at the squad they fielded in terms of the lineup and the quality that they could call from the bench to win the game. So for me, it's not something I didn't expect. To be frank, with Arteta right now, group stage, round of 16, is the latter part that matters. 2 seasons ago, they were really close. Bayern Munich, fine margins, kicked them out. Last season, close again. PSG, fine. Look, PSG without Donnarumma, Arsenal would have qualified. But that's why Donnarumma was there. You beat what's in front of you. And Arsenal just couldn't find the cutting edge. Yeah. And for me, that's my issue, to be frank, with this Arsenal team. I think they are ready to win the big things. They can win anything. But Charlie Arteta, no. He's my guy, but to be frank, like he needs to show us something.
What is wrong with Arteta?
Oh no, like you see, I always say the killer managers, the top managers have this killer instinct. They can smell during the game.
You can smell blood.
They can smell blood, and when they smell it,
they go for
attack.
it.
Typical example. Last season, Liverpool away at PSG. They suffered. PSG showed a small sign of weakness, quick slot that's a substitution. Instant. He gets the win. The second leg, PSG were not better in terms of play than Liverpool in the second leg. But Luis Enrique found a way. In fact, in extra time, the way they played in extra time, I just loved it. They just had to suck out. And it's like they were inviting the penalty shootout because he knew that he didn't have a very strong bench. So what they just kept the ball and kept the ball and kept the ball, knowing that they had Donnarumma who could also give them the edge in the shootout. And that's what happened. Look, it's the small in-game change, the minute details. And for me, that's what Arteta doesn't seem to have. When you look at crunch time in the Premier League, 2 seasons ago, that home game against Aston Villa, like no championship winning coach will lose that game. You don't lose that game. You can go and lose away, but at home, when you are controlling the game, you don't. And for me, it really worries me because, to be frank, right now, what is the excuse? You have the perfect squad on paper. And you yourself have been in the job for 6 years. So in terms of experience, you can't say you are inexperienced. So if you don't do it, then it's like you're not good enough. Full stop.
Well, but I was very impressed with the fact that this was an important away game in the Champions League. Arsenal were missing 4 of players who would ordinarily start. Yet there was enough quality to stay in the game for as long as possible and to call 2 options from the bench, which ultimately came on and decided the game. Look, whatever you say about Arsenal's transfer activities and the sort of supports that Arteta has received over the years, this season, I don't think there can be any questions, not just in terms of the numbers, but also the variety of profiles that they have signed for him and the solutions those profiles present for Arsenal. So whatever the tactic is, he has the men to execute them. One player that I think deserves a lot of commendation is Mosquera. He's walked into a team at a time when there is no room for acclimatization. There is no time for him to get used to, because the moment he walked into the team, Saliba has his injury problem, so he has to start and he needs to be ready. And he has shown a certain adaptability that is very refreshing for a 21-year-old, right? The maturity with which he has played. And he's played in some of the most difficult games of the season at Anfield against Liverpool. Mm-hmm. Spotless performance, didn't make any mistake and communicates well. And for me, those are the little things that I look out for. The fact that he's not afraid to take responsibility. When he sees something, he has to scream at his teammates. Where he needs to step in, mop up before he communicates, he does that. And those are always good things to look out for a young player, because what it shows you is that they are alive to the threats and in charge of every game state, every scenario. He's not the kind that would have to wait and goes through games for a coach to keep screaming at him. Even if the coach is talking, he's getting that information and he's getting the job done. And I think that after what we've seen of him, he's a prime candidate to be one of the signings of the season, not just at Arsenal, but for the clubs in the Premier League. So that's one that I was pretty excited about. But, DK, Inaki Williams. The Ghanaian in me was just looking at him with pride, with appreciation, but also wondering when in the Black Stars. Like, even in games where he doesn't score or it doesn't happen for him, like against Arsenal, you cannot discredit the shift he puts in and the fact that if he's the captain of the team at this level, what it says about his status in the game.
No, sorry, Inaki is a top guy. That one, like, is
yeah.
This Black Stars problem thing, it sounds like a broken record. Honestly, but you don't expect. Inaki has been with Athletics since he was a child.
Yeah,
he understands their system. And everything about the club he knows. He has played different roles, different positions in the team since he burst onto the scene. Was it 2016, 2015? Boga, like, there's no way he will flop when he's playing for Athletic Bilbao, because our understanding is there. Black Stars, no. This is why we'll go back to the importance of the youth system, integration. You are using the word acclimatization. All these things are very important in national team football. You can't just get up and see some star and throw him in there and expect. Because at the end of the day, look, you might say, yes, he's been with the team for 2 years. But
3 now.
I can promise you, if you put cumulatively the training sessions he's had with the Black Stars for 2 years, let's say he was called up for every single game since was it July or June 2022?
Yeah,
when he first entered the team up until now, it won't reach half a season in the club side. Training
maximum
sessions.
like 2 months.
It won't reach. It won't reach.
Yeah.
And you see, national team training sessions are very much focused.
Yeah.
They are not, it's not like in a club where,
Very short
let's say
termist.
Monday to Wednesday, you plan, you train the philosophy, then Thursday, Friday, you train
prepare
the
for
match
the game.
tactics. No. National team football is training sessions are very much focused. So you come in, this is what we are going to do tomorrow. You train and then that's it. You are done. So there's not really time to build that understanding of what exactly the national identity is, what your teammates like, what they don't like. It's very, very difficult, especially if you are not part of the match plan.
Yeah.
So if you are not part of the first 11, then maybe your instructions may not be as clear cut,
as
detailed as somebody who is going to start the game. So these are some of things like people need to understand that the differences between national team football and club football. And for a country that we are not serious when it comes to like youth football and things, progression, Inaki will always struggle. Like it's something that is there. I saw people commenting, oh, Semenyo, why is that Semenyo can't do what he did? But Charlie, Rana is not his coach in the Black Stars. Like he's not playing with Clivert and these boys in a completely different team. So these things, like until we are very serious and deliberate with how we treat our youth food, they say DNA. When a player can walk into from under 17, walk into the Black Stars, and the philosophy is not any different from what he was doing at under 17 level. Maybe it's just small tactical tweaks and instructions that differ from. That's when we'll start seeing some of these consistent performances across board. But until then, it will touch and go. Like today you force, tomorrow you not for. And we just have to take it like that because that's where we are.
And look, the point you made about adapting to the national team culture is invaluable. And it is what also strengthens my resolve. And this is to Keto Kweku. Look, you are as highly placed as any Ghanaian can be in CAF. Haven't seen how these Avengers, as we call them in 2022, and our brothers who did not grow up here have struggled to cope with the national team. There's one thing that I expect of Keto Kweku. For as much as possible, our youth football calendar on the continent has to align with Europe. Because what it means is that when the European Championships and their qualifiers are going on, our players should also be able to come down and play. Right?
See, that's not the Ket's
At the youth. No, it's not. I'm saying that because that's a CAF decision.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that he's in the position to lobby because he used to run Wafu B, right? Because if you look at our situation now, today we're talking about Prince Amwako, the kid at North Zealand, very explosive. He has all the tools to excel. But are you really going to look at him and say that he shouldn't go to Satellites, he shouldn't go to Black Meteors, or even Black Starlets? We should throw him straight into the Black Stars. He may have grown up in Ghana. He may have a fair idea of Ghana. But that does not compensate for the culture of the national team and the need to have that education there. But the reality is that when the next under-20 qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers, when we look at the calendar, at that time, North Zealand will be busy. They are not obliged to release him. And the same goes for all of the young players who are eligible to play for Ghana across the globe. But if our calendar on the continent, the under-17, under-20, the qualifiers, these days the qualifiers are the regional competition, so Wafu, Sekafa, and the likes. And then the main tournaments, if they align with the European calendar or the South American calendar, around the time when we are playing, every other country is released, every other club is releasing its players who are eligible to play in those age category games. So there is very little, the obstructions are few, right? You don't face as many challenges. But if it is in a period where it is not a FIFA window or it is not a UEFA window, but you expect these clubs to release their players, it is difficult.
But you see, that will also be hard because the mode of our qualification is very different from what Europe do. Theirs is like what the main national teams do. So it's like group stages. So you can play 2 matches in this window, 2 matches in the next window. Ours is tournament based. So the qualifications is a waffle. So 3 group games plus a quarter-final, a semi-final, and a final before you qualify. You can't play that within this 1 week period. So that will also mean if they say they are going to align it, they also mean they will have to change the mode.
No, you can shrink it. You can shrink it to say that, for example, when there is the long European breaks, the periods when they can do about 5 or 4 days, right? And sometimes the mid-season periods where the teams meet. As for the national teams, you can always work around those. But for as much as possible, the window where you play the main tournament itself, it has to align with the Europeans. Because whether we like it or not, they are the ones training our best talents. The Kuduses and co, the countries that they will be eligible to play for, or they would have been eligible to play for
not
at
to
that
cut
time.
you. This is a Ghana problem. There's no way Ket will go to CAF and will win this thing because it is a selfish lobbying. To be frank, when you look at for example, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, I can even bring in South Africa, like some of these, even Nigeria, their youth talent is in the country.
Yeah.
Their top youth talents are in the country and their leagues are good enough. So you see, especially the Senegalese under 20, most of them have had like some appearances in their Premier Division League teams. And they are playing like top level professional football. So but in Ghana, no, it's not the same. So if you go and say they should align it so they can release their players.
But you see,
you have like 60% of your top talents out there. Yeah. The rest of them have like 20%. Okay, so why should CAF?
2 things. First of all, it is a problem that is not only peculiar to Ghana. So what you're saying is true. But that is the Malis, the Senegals. There are a good number of the countries whose best youth talents are within the country. But there are countries also like the Moroccos, like Egypt, like Tunisia. We see these young players in Europe all the time. I'm just saying that is an option, right?
No, but you see, the North Africans, it's usually national team level where they go and rely on. The local...
They follow. The other side to the argument also is that those countries don't have anything to lose.
The point is you supposed to go and fix your youth system so that you will not be relying on somebody to go and train your talents. Because to be frank, this Northern thing self with the talk now, somebody has to say it too. Boga,
Charlie,
the talents that come out of it, they are very raw. Northern will come out in raw. Then because the person is doing well in Northern, you push them to Blasters. They are not ready.
Kudus was very lucky to go to Ajax.
Kudus is different. You see, the fact that Northern has given us Kudus, they didn't give us Kudus. If God did give you Kudus, not Northern they give you Kudus. But Nyama, very raw. All of them, very raw talents. They need 2-3 years at the highest level to be refined. Then because they are doing well at Northern no be foreign league, then you just throw them. You say they are ready for Black Stars. They are not ready. Look at his decision making against Mali. Like you can see all the right runs. He has the energy. But when he has the ball, the decisions he makes, you can tell this is Charlie. This is not top level.
Look, let's talk about another team that excited a lot of people. Liverpool. Charlie, 5 consecutive games. Each time they are scoring after the 80th minute. On 3 occasions, they scored in stoppage time. Against Newcastle United, against Burnley, and on Wednesday, against Atletico Madrid. There are 2 sides of the coin here. One school of thought says it's a sign that they are struggling, that they are not able to put games away, and opponents always know they will have a chance, and opponents are guaranteed almost 2 goals against Liverpool.
Mhm.
The other school of thought says, Charlie, if they are winning, why worry about how they win? And that isn't it a sign of the mentality of the team that no matter what, they believe and they get it done?
You see, that's a very good sign. The last minute goals, especially from the fans' point of view, is nice. That one, the
The
pure
adrenaline,
entertainment,
Charlie.
really be. But mine is every championship team, every championship winning team has that mentality.
Yeah.
Never say die attitude. So what Liverpool are displaying, you understand it. Like that they are defending
there.
champions for a reason.
Yeah.
They are there. But see, you can't have to you can't afford to be going into games knowing that you need to score 3 or more to win. Oh.
Yeah.
It's an issue. Like it's a serious issue. And my fear is, like personally, me, I saw from the tail end of last season, defensively, they are very open. Went to preseason, no proper adjustments. And I'm not even talking about players. I'm talking about like
The structure.
the structure, tactical, has been able to remedy it. People are saying, oh, when Gravenberch comes back, it will change. It's not changing. They are still conceding chance. Like, even the Burnley game, if you say Burnley, then shout.
Yeah.
But when there were counter-attacks, Liverpool looked really open. And mine is seeing Boba. When it was Man City, I sat and I said, look, there's something fundamentally wrong with this team. It's left with that one. They'll lose that one game. And it will all of a sudden, teams who are now coming to face Liverpool will not be sitting back. They will actually have the vim to take the game to them
That
because they
can pull it
know
off.
they are open and they can. So look, defensively, Liverpool seriously need to fix the thing. Like, you can't rely on
But
last minute goals
what is
forever.
the issue? Because the first 2 games, we saw very different patterns in terms of how the chances were created against them. Against Bournemouth and then Newcastle United.
Mhm.
Then against Burnley, we saw a very different way of being open. I thought it was desperation to get a goal. But against Atletico Madrid, who are, to be fair, a stubborn team, still, we see cracks appearing. Is it an issue of the adjustments that they have been forced to make because of the new forwards who have joined the team and even the new defenders who have signed up? Because I remember against Burnley, he had to take off Kekes at halftime because he had also been booked. And that was against a team that wasn't very attacking.
Keke is a fool. Then Keke is a fool. He make like his FC. Like me, I will clear him after 20 minutes safe.
What is the issue?
To be frank, if I tell you I know, like, bang, I have theories, but if I tell you, like, I've sat down.
It is one thing.
Yeah,
Because the way one time it is the central areas that teams tend to drag traffic out of there, and the chance is created through that side.
I don't think we've seen different patterns. It's the same thing. Especially in transition, they are very open. You see, the goals may have come in different styles.
Okay, fair enough.
But the chances they are conceding are very similar. Like very, very similar. Newcastle, transition, like, and they are open, like they are in trouble. One-on-one defending too, they are not doing well. Like, to be frank, 3-4 years ago, one-on-one defending Van Dijk, quick, like he'll take care of it. This time around, when you have an opportunity to run at the Liverpool defense, it's trouble. Because I don't understand. Konate too, he what the wrong arm. Like something, he's looking very, he has to sit there because the World Cup is coming. We are not going there.
His head is not at home.
No, but he for DG. Because the World Cup, we need to go full for there. So he for pick up. But the issue is there's like, I look at the midfield also. And sometimes, like maybe the lack of a proper DM with the defensive instinct is also an issue. Because Gravenberch, the baller, like he can nick in, he do some nice, and they swap. Sometimes you see McAllister a bit deeper. Sometimes it's Gravenberch who's, but obviously most of the time Gravenberch is the one who is the deepest of the two. But Charlie, maybe they need like a natural defensive midfielder, somebody who can read the game well,
yeah,
and pick pockets when necessary. Because when they allow once the opposition team transitions from defense to midfield and they turn, it's always an issue. Like when they are coming at Liverpool, it's always an issue. So, Charlie, you can't consider they've kept 2 clean sheets this season. Against Arsenal, where Ateta will be serious.
Yeah.
And against Burnley, which you expected, but that one safe. Last minute penalty. Hannibal, who go do that thing? Like, you know, your ex-Man U player, who go do that thing? You left Man U, but they Jimmy's face today.
He's still there.
You don't get last minute, they throw your hand. You don't be serious guy. But yeah, see, Boga, the thing is looking nice from a fan's point of view. If you do last minute. Usually this thing happens at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But not at the start of the season where stamina levels are high, like usually like concentration levels are some way. But Liverpool need to fix it. If they don't
Charlie,
take care,
let me hear from Sicho, yeah? Next, before we move the conversation on.
make it come up for them.
Sicho, see, say Cranty, they threw pot shots at you. He say you for come up for them.
And if I come up for them, you know what they consider it come up.
Sicho, your guy is Slotto, no. I don't see him well because they win all right, but the team seems very, very open. And as we've established, the patterns are not too dissimilar in the opening 5 games of the season. Newcastle United, before that AFC Bournemouth, then after Newcastle, we saw that in the next home game, then Burnley, now Atletico Madrid. What is the problem with Liverpool? Or are we just worried for nothing?
What people say it's a problem. Look, Liverpool are not a settled team yet. Liverpool are still going through a phase, a change. They brought in a lot of signings. They brought in Milos Kerkers, Florian Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak had his first start of the season. They've let some key players go as well. So it will take some time for them to gel. But what the manager will be pleased with is that the personality of the team, which is the mental fortitude of the team, remains intact. So when Liverpool starts playing well, it's a problem for everybody. The reason why I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of Liverpool conceding every game is simply because they have the goals they've conceded, right? They are all very different. So I'm not going to say Liverpool have got a problem dealing with counter-attacking football. They've got a problem dealing with set pieces. They've got a problem dealing with cutbacks. Like, there are goals that any team can concede. The goals they consider against Bournemouth, any team can concede that good. It doesn't matter how good you do. I don't think it was necessarily a defensive problem. The goal they considered against Atletico Madrid, I honestly thought that Llorente's first goal should have been offside. Griezmann was clearly in front of the goalkeeper. So yeah, they won't be happy with the number of goals they're conceding. But listen, if Liverpool click into gear, there will be a lot more scary. So Arne Slot will know he's not happy they're conceding goals. And it's almost like a new team that is still finding a way of winning games. And I'm sure they will get past all of that.
Right. Thank you very much, Sicho, for that. Here, so Sicho has made his thoughts known. But you know what? Let me come to you before we go back to Sicho on the Chelsea Bayern thing. Charlie, last year, a lot of people said this is the make or break season for Vincent's company. I thought he scored full marks here in this game.
Me, not necessarily. Yeah.
What else should he have done?
See, there are some games you watch, and when you finish, to be frank, the scoreline doesn't necessarily match what you watched.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Bayern didn't create more chances, or I'm saying when I was looking at the tactical battle, both teams took some crazy risk.
Yeah.
And on another day,
It gets managed.
Chelsea won't go far.
Yeah.
Bayern's will not far. And to be frank, when you look at the difficulty in terms of the risk, I think Bayern's was more difficult to execute. And they got it. Like the communication, the fluidity, like everything was on point on the night. And they got the win. But then again, see me, Dunyam, if they play this game again at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea go score them like 5. I don't lie you. Like the free men Chelsea had in between the lines, but yet still, Bayern's pressing was so on point, Chelsea couldn't find the man, or they had crowded Chelsea in certain areas, they just couldn't find them. But like, and see, sometimes there were times in the game where certain players will pick up, like Caicedo will pick up the ball and he turns, he can't find option, he's forced to. But you know that Caicedo, no, the player, no, more often than not, he can find the pass. So like, it's like,
is it not, when I was watching the game and I was running commentary, one thing just came into mind that Bayern know that Caicedo, as decent, he's at best a decent passer. If it's a different profile of midfielder in the zones he was receiving the ball, they perhaps don't take that risk because in the areas that, and you realize that João Pedro was dropping quite deep in the areas and he was always free. In the moments where he was unmarked and there is a channel for him to run into, the pass couldn't come. Were they confident in setting up in that manner because they also knew that between Caicedo and then Reece James, none of them could locate their men in those zones?
Not necessarily. I'm saying not necessarily because I'm saying it from a company point of view.
Okay.
He's high risk, high. He looks at games from his POV.
What he can gain.
What he can gain.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what
the opponent can do to him.
Thank you very much. So, and he knows that once he's able to execute it, it will limit what the opponent can do. So there are managers who will look at this and say, okay, fine. Like I can get a 10 out of 10 out of this offensively, but I'm at risk of also being punished.
Yeah.
So maybe I will reduce my intensity to let's say 6 or 7 so that I can also cater for what may happen if it flips.
Yeah.
Company will go full out. Like you go, if it works,
care.
it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like that's how he is. And I just think it was one of those days where it just worked for him. But to be frank, like, yeah, we might laugh and everything, but Boga, this Chelsea team is good. Oh. Like, the squad is good. Oh. The manager too. In fact, yesterday, what he was doing to cope with what Bayern, I'm saying on paper, no, the team made sense. It's just that it just wasn't their day. That's how I see it. If they play this game again at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea will win it and will win it easily. But it's one of those things. I'm happy that they've lost. I'm happy they've lost because they needed that reality check. Like when you come from Conference League and you are on a high, you need to be brought back down to earth for them to kick in again. It would have been something else if they had beaten Bayern. They would have thought they were at a certain level, which I don't think they are there yet. And to be frank, Chelsea like that push. Like that's what gets them going. Chelsea is not a team that they don't love comfort. They like chaos. So it's good for them to lose this game. To be frank, it's top 24. If you finish in top 8, automatic, obviously, but top 24, you will still qualify. The winners of the Champions League went through the top 24. They didn't go for the top 8.
Yeah.
Top 8, when you go and lose like Liverpool. You finish, you win all the matches, you go there and go and lose. So that thing, you know, they mean anything. Bottom line is you just qualify from the group stages. And to be frank, Chelsea will qualify. I'm saying that. And remember this day, when we get to the knockout rounds, whoever you are, if you just match the one, we have 7 more, but I'm telling you, Chelsea will qualify for that one, Chelsea will qualify. Pray you don't get them. If they are not buying any injuries, pray you don't get Chelsea over 2 legs. Because to be frank, see, what I saw from the Chelsea point of view, it be like fine match and it won't happen again. I'm telling you. It won't happen again. Say Bayern or somebody will do this high risk and Chelsea won't punish you. It won't happen again.
Sishu, Daniel seems to take a lot of encouragement from the way Maresca set his team up and even says Bayern were lucky that Chelsea could not find their men. But I saw something that you posted on X, I think on Wednesday after the game, and I also made a similar observation. But I was asking myself, how is it that they did it time and time and again, and Chelsea didn't seem to be able to cope? So I noticed that they had both Harry Kane and then Serge Gnabry dropping very deep. I think last night was about the deepest I've seen Harry Kane drop, like ever. Because there were times he would receive the ball on the edge of the Bayern penalty area. Himself, Serge Gnabry as well. The only other player who was holding the width was Luis Diaz. Talk to us about what that structure was and how Chelsea allowed it to happen time and time and again, because almost every time it worked in getting the ball further up the pitch.
Yeah, so I think, look, Bayern Munich were brilliant on the day. They were amazing the way they played. Chelsea went to the game trying to do what they did against Paris Saint-Germain at the Club World Cup. But this was against a different opposition in the way they approached the game. And for me, the key thing, Bayern Munich did a lot of things. I mean, I don't even have time to talk about all the things they did. But the very key thing, the very foundation to the things they did relied on Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane is a striker, you're expecting him to engage Tosin, you expect him to engage the centre backs, Chaluba in that case. Or you want him to drop around your DM. That is what he's looted for. But throughout the entire game, what Harry Kane was doing was that he was dropping as far back as he could. So he could come far back to the edge of his box when Bayern Munich were building up. What that means is that Bayern Munich have got an overload in the first build-up phase. Then you could drop alongside the number 8 in Kimmich or Pavlovic, depending upon who would be more advanced, depending upon who they chose to push further forward, because the both of them kept alternating. And then that means that you have an overload in the second phase of build-up. Then it could also pop up as an extra 10 alongside Gnabry. Or if Gnabry and then Luis Diaz switch positions, Luis Diaz and Harry Kane will be the number 10s. So this is the problem that it caused. But for most of the time, when Bayern had passed the first phase and had gone one and had come back to the middle of the park, Harry Kane would have left the back to have joined the number 10 in Gnabry or Diaz. But what that did for Chelsea's shape was that then Caicedo would have to pay attention to either Kane or Gnabry, and then Reece James has to help. So in Reece James helping, he plays very close to Caicedo. But the ripple effect of that shape in the middle of the park is it leaves Pavlovic and Kimmich to be free and have a lot more space and no pressure on them to dictate the pace of the game, because it will be only Enzo Fernandez who's left in the midfield to deal with the two. Now, if Marco Correa tries to squeeze higher up the pitch, Olise will be happy. And also, if they also get Gusto to squeeze or invert into the middle of the park or create verts in the middle of the park, then the wide places will be exposed. So ultimately, I think Harry Kane's movement caused Chelsea massive problems. They didn't really find a way to deal with it. Also, none of those Chelsea centre backs were comfortable enough to take the risk of following Harry Kane into the deep end of his own half. They didn't want to take that risk. So yeah, it just didn't work for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez looked a bit still heavy, and Caicedo was kept busy throughout the whole night. Reece James as well looked lost in the middle of the park. And Neto, who was set out to be an outball, had to most of the time also do a lot of tracking back, but he wasn't tracking back. So there's a big space between Neto and Correa. So in the first half, Lima enjoyed that space very well and caused Chelsea massive problems. Chelsea have still got a talented squad. They will learn from that. But this is the problem. This is what I've said about Chelsea. That because they're going to be playing in multiple competition this season, it's going to be a real test for them. Last season, the manager could play a team B for the Conference League and a team A for the Premier League. This season, he has to somehow manage to play team A for both competitions, and how he's able to get the best out of the squad throughout remains to be seen.
Right. Sishope Atrim Philip was a very enlightening view on Bayern structure on Wednesday against Chelsea and what he made of it. Well, Bayern ultimately winning that game by 3-1. Before we move the conversation on, to Daniel, quick one. The Real Madrid game, for me, is not even about the football and their struggles. This is Real Madrid. They hardly enjoy going through the early rounds of the Champions League, so I don't worry too much about how they perform. But the referee, Efan Pelito, 2 big calls that he made. In fact, 3, but I think there is little question about the first one, the first penalty. I think the general consensus is that it was a legit penalty. But then we saw the first red card. And then the second penalty that was given. The first red card, though, Daniel, is that the classic definition of excessive use of aggression to warrant a red card from Carvajal?
Charlie, to be frank, this is me. I don't want to worry myself over referee decisions. They went to their conference, their workshop at the start of the season. They know what I don't know. And to be frank, you see, if it was the wrong decision, we would have seen prompt sanctions week in, week out. But we don't see anything. It means the people who oversee them,
the protocols they are using
it's okay. It's solid. So, Charlie, we can talk. I think it's all part of the drama for us. They want us to talk plenty. And bottom line is, the team, no, if far from Madrid, they get the 3 points. We move. It's simple. Me, Charlie, this referring this.
For me, I was disappointed because, and I get it, the convention in situations like this is to show the aggressor a red card. Yeah. So if a player leans forward and tries to headbutt an opponent, goalkeeper, whoever, you will be sent off. Yeah. Sometimes you even swipe at a player with your arm. I remember 2008, the Drogba attempted slap on Village.
No, he slapped him. It wasn't attempted slap. He slapped
But it
him.
was a gentle slap.
No, he slap him.
Uh,
That's a bad example. He flick him with Village vex. Like, go beat him for there. He's flick him.
He still got sent off. So I understand in those instances.
No, attempted is not necessarily a red card. That's what I'm telling you. See, that's what I just said on top. Because 2 seasons ago, do you remember Hakim Ziyech? Swung his hand at the Tottenham player. The team missed the guy's face. I think went to hit the guy's chest. They got given him a red card. They checked the VR. They said because he didn't land on the face.
They showed it.
So I can smack you, but if
But
it
if
doesn't
you no
hit you,
land,
if no land,
that one yellow card.
That one yellow card.
So look, if the aggressor uses excessive force, I can understand why a red card will be shown. But this one, it's like his forehead just glazed him. It was not even aggressive. There was no excessive force.
You know, you go tell me how I go feel the pain.
I'm saying that these are the things the referees have explained to us. Every year they tell us it is this protocol. Per the protocol, for handballs. And we'll come to the handball situation. So without those conditions being met, I don't think the threshold for the classic definition of violent conduct was in place for Cavell to have been shown a red card. But you see, I understand the second penalty because this is what a lot of referees do. And Ghanaian referees are often, they fall foul of this. The debits and credits. So the referee realizes that he's made a mistake here. And then he makes another mistake. How else was that handball a penalty? They have explained to us that when the ball touches another part of the body in close proximity to the arm, it is not a foul. Moreover, when the movement of the arm is in sync with the rest of the body, like if the body is moving this way and the arm extends this way to touch the ball, that one we know that something fishy has gone on. So they will give the penalty. But this one, the guy slipped. After he slid, his whole body was moving in one direction. The arm went along with it. And somehow the referee says, because the ball struck the arm, it's a penalty. Come on.
Obstruction.
No, the referee was rather obstructing justice.
Obstruction.
He was rather obstructing justice. So I thought that was a very questionable decision that the referee gave. And unfortunately for Marseille, as you explained 2 weeks ago, these things don't even out. The protocols will be fixed. The referees who have made these mistakes, they will be spoken to and their colleagues will learn. And going forward, the officiating is expected to improve. So whoever suffers it, Charlie, sorry, there is no opportunity for you later on in the campaign that you are going to get a decision in your favor. So we've done Arsenal, we've done Liverpool, we've done Chelsea. We've spoken about the controversial decisions in the Real Madrid game. Now, this weekend, there are 2 big games coming up. And we would again see Chelsea and Manchester United in action. Charlie, fans, your Chelsea, Chelsea have not beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford since 2013. For 12 years, they've never done it. And the funny thing is, this period has been the worst in Manchester United's history in the modern era. Yet, Chelsea have not done it at Old Trafford. They also are winless in 2 games. Last Saturday evening, they drew 2-2 with Brentford. And then on Wednesday, Bayern handed their backsides to them. Yeah, they drew with Brentford. Bayern handed their backsides to them, beating them by 3-1. Friends, what do Chelsea need to do to change this trend of winless run at Old Trafford? And are they capable of doing it?
Okay. Anyway, guys, so I'm coming to you live from the press center of the Japan National Stadium covering athletics, the World Championships in Tokyo. But for the sake of this podcast, I'm supposed to provide a reaction to Chelsea's defeat to Bayern Munich. And I blame Achu for asking me to react to this particular game. That game happened around 4 a.m. Japan time. I watched the match. It ended around 6 a.m. I couldn't sleep, my brother, for the rest of the evening because the thing he paid me. And I largely blame Enzo Maresca, to be fair, because I feel like team selection was an issue. I think Chris James in midfield didn't particularly work too well. We saw that the team got a bit exhausted towards the second half, and he waited also a bit too long to react. He made his first changes when he brought in Estevao and Santos after Bayern had got 3-1 up, I think. And Harry Kane said it even after the game, that he thought they noticed that Chelsea were tired and they took full advantage. And for the fact that Maresca didn't see that to react before it got too late was a bit problematic for me. But I think experience also counts, because at this level, you make silly mistakes, you get punished. And that's unfortunately what has happened with Chelsea in this particular game. But I believe that they will learn going forward. This squad has very little Champions League experience. In fact, all of Chelsea's squad combined have 117 Champions League appearances between them. Bayern Munich's squad had over 800 Champions League appearances. Even Vincent Kompany, the Bayern manager, has coached more Champions League games than Maresca. That was Maresca's first Champions League game. So experience-wise, from the squads, from the technical bench, Bayern always had the advantage, and they were playing at home. And so I thought Chelsea were competitive in the first half, but they just faded out in the second half, and they just let the game get a bit away from them, and they were not able to recover. But I believe that this is the situation. These games are important to help the team learn some lessons, valuable lessons, and I hope they do going forward.
I don't like what Frank said. In fact, I don't like his analysis on this Chelsea Man United game, because he didn't say the things I wanted to hear. That's me. If you like this, it's up to you. But he didn't say the things I wanted to hear. So let me bring in Sicho. Yeah, maybe I will find more encouragement in the way he sees this game. Charlie, Amarim, no, 31 points in 31 Premier League games. He is averaging a point per game. If we are to go by that trajectory, then it looks like this one is also going to end in a draw at best for Manchester United. Worst case scenario, they lose. But he insists that he's not going to change his tactic. Is there a scenario within Amorim's tactical constructs and everything he's been doing where Manchester United win this game?
I think Chelsea will beat Man United simply because everybody knows how Ruben Amarim's team is going to play. And so they'll just go up there and try to use the middle a lot more. And of course, United are not defending well. They don't defend the set pieces well. Chelsea are a great set piece team as well. So I think that Chelsea are going to win the game. I'll be surprised if they don't do it. But again, it also remains to be seen that Chelsea having played some of their best players in midweek, do they have what it takes to go on over the weekend into a big game and then get a big result? It's one of the doubts I've had about them this season, but they really have to prove me and many others wrong. But yeah, I find them favorite coming into the game. I think they will win. The only thing that stops them from winning would be if Man United significantly improves from the Man United we've seen at the start of the season. But I don't see it because the manager says it's not going to change. So we know what to expect from them. But it's my use Chelsea. It's a big game. Anything really could happen. But my money is on Chelsea.
Right. DK, Sicho doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence in Ruben Amarim. But while the rest of the world complains, Amarim says he's not going to change.
You have confidence in Ruben Amarim?
I don't. But me, I said it. I told you people that they should have sacked him in April. And then he went on to lose the Europa League final. I said the same thing. But you guys said he can fix the team. So here we did. But ultimately, I know all of you will come home. Ultimately, I know all of you and all of you Manchester United fans watching who think that we are wrong and that Amarim will be able to fix it. No problem. I know you will come home. But on Saturday, Daniel, it looks like we may be getting closer to seeing the back of Amarim. Or you think he can turn things around?
Charlie, don't be asking me or you think. Don't be asking me.
You are the one who has shown unwavering faith in him.
See. Me, a couple of years ago, I changed. I used to be very ruthless. I won't give you a chance, but I changed because at the end of the day, they are not machines who are in charge. They are human beings. And I have seen some 1 or 2 examples of coaches who in the beginning looked like, and then they were able to turn it around. So I told myself that, okay, fine. even when you are shining in reality,
Mm.
I will choose to judge the idea and
And
the
not the
possibilities of the idea and the outcome. And I'll give you some small time.
Yeah.
If it's not working, then I'll start judging the reality. And after last week's Manchester Derby performance and result, I have snapped out of judging the idea. Boga. Man United is the worst team in the Premier League
Okay.
in the last 31 games. If you remove the 3 teams that were relegated, United is last, PP. What it means is that
Last boy.
if United, if you add 7 games with, that's a whole season.
Yeah.
Man U is last. And you see, senior, that last PP, you can't tell me that
It's far
the
away.
players from last season are the worst in the league.
No,
They are
they're
not.
not.
Yeah, they may not be good enough to finish in top 4
Yeah.
or top 6, but they are not the worst in the league. See, if they pay me, say they can't talk this thing. But you see me, I'm an honest guy. My wife always tells me I'm very honest. Very, very honest.
Shout outs to Mrs. Cranton.
Then times, the time we had when I was in my father's house.
Yeah.
When my mother comes out, she say, "Am I looking nice?" Everybody says they are. She will come to me because she knows that I'll tell you the truth.
You are very honest
I'm
guy.
brutally honest. I'll tell you the truth. If they pay me, say they can't talk this thing. But Ten Hag shall.
Amarim.
But Amarim. Hey.
Amarim over Shan.
See, on a level,
Mhm.
like if Ten Hag D, I don't think we would have finished outside top 10. Like he's Ten Hag, obviously, he's not good enough. I'm not saying that Ten Hag should come back. He's not good enough to be Man United coach.
Yeah.
But this level of Shashanes,
It's not Shan.
hey,
Shashan.
Boga, forget. Hey, who brought Dogu? Who bring Dogu to the team? That guy, they worry me, Dogu. Do you know why he worries me?
No.
Today, let's be honest. This one I tell like Dr. Phil. I'm in a therapy session. Allow me.
Pour your heart out,
Allow
my
me.
brother.
You see, there's one thing for you to shine. There are some players in this world there.
Yeah.
They can kill you. Let me just put it that way. They can kill you.
They can end your life.
They can take your blood pressure to some level you never knew you could. Do you know why?
Tell me.
It's not because they lack the talent to. You see, there are some players who shine. You will finish like Hoyland. Hoyland will finish 90 minutes. You don't even remember he played because he was lost. I can take that one. As for that one, I can take it. The one I can't take now are the players who I don't know if it is the devil who wants to test your patience. They always, and it's not sometimes so, always get the ball in the right position.
Promising
They
positions.
know where to be at the right time. Yet when they pick it up, they never, and I repeat,
Never make the right decision.
make the right decision. Like you don't even, like you don't understand it. Boga, Dogu. Hey, see, Dogu's positional awareness is better than any left wing back I've seen. He's always there. Like, offensive. The runs he can make. Watch this guy say, damn, he's talented. But let the ball land on his foot. Hey,
The cross never gets past the first man.
so you know what he killed me the Man City game?
The second one. The second one.
The Man City game, no, we say the second
No,
one.
The
Me, I know-
second chance he had
Me,
to
I know they
cross.
talk second or say third. Didn't you people notice he reached the point Man City were not closing him down?
Yeah.
You don't notice. And this is like tail end of first half, second half. When Dogu picks, they can see he's in acres of space, but they leave him. When they pass it there, the guy now he will do the job. The guy was playing for Man City, but he was wearing red. He did play give Man City. Hey! The guy, sir. And you see the problem? The problem is, Dogu, no, he's not a Ten Hag signing, no. Ten Hag left with them go sign him. The guy they were Lecce. Lecce, when they finish, where did they finish it there? Yeah, make a check. Yeah, make a check. Where Lecce? Where Lecce? No, where did they finish? Where did they finish in the Serie A last season? Lecce. Hey, Charlie, the guy sound. And you see, it's players like this who lose you your job. They'll get you fired. Lecce. Hey, Lecce finished
16th.
17th. So Man U finished where 15th. When you go buy a player with
When I level that.
you level that.
They know their level.
Lecce. See, serious problem. This thing, I'm just saying that. Amarim, no, maybe fresh guy, you know how they talk them things. For his own sake, he said he should go. The job is bigger than him. And you know what worried me? The post-match press conference after Man City. He said something which is a huge indictment to he himself as a coach.
He said many things. Which of the things?
No,
he said?
the thing that is trending. He said, I won't change my philosophy. Now, philosophy no be three back. Philosophy no be tactics. You can carry your Van Gaal was playing three back. Conte plays three back. Amorim plays three back.
Pep even played three back at
Three
the time.
different philosophies. Three very different philosophies. They carry very, very different principles. So you that are saying,
But you see,
change your
he's not
philosophy.
English. He's not English.
Oh, Massa.
He's not English.
Massa. If you're a manager and you go and say, that's even worse. That's what I'm saying. It's worse.
Well,
If you
again,
go and
it's
sit-
the language of managers.
If you go and sit
Yeah.
in a press conference and you openly tell the world that you will not change your tactics, I'll sack you quick. Because what you are telling me is that the thing is not working, but the thing that every manager in the league can counter, no, you won't change it. You will leave it like that. Okay. What again? It was Garnacho, Sexy, and Hoyland at times last season. Anfa. This season, we see Mateus Cunha, Mbuemo, this one,
Shesko.
Mount, Anfa. Shesko has come. Anfa. Okay, wait, me, I swear, Regency and go and play for you. Charlie, they need to sack him quick. Because 4 points after how many games?
4 games.
4 games. It's okay. It's okay. Somebody can come in and turn the thing around.
He's continuing his. Charlie, the guy, he's a very consistent guy.
One point
One
a game.
point per-
1 point per game. Ranasef is worse because he's playing 31 games. And I
Yeah.
think he has less points than.
No, 31
he did-
points out of 31 games.
We should say no be 30. It be 30 points from
No,
30.
31 games.
He did Amarim the 0 points. See, it's bad. Actually, I don't even want to talk about the Chelsea game because Chelsea now they are wicked. Chelsea may beat Man U, but they will not beat Man U in the manner that will get the manager sacked.
Look, if Ineos know what they're about, any kind of defeat should get Amarim
There will
sacked.
not be any kind of defeat.
No.
It will shock you,
Look.
say, Man U player, then they'll lose some 2 and then they'll say positives. See, I beg Chelsea, I beg. See, take all the anger from Bayern. Take all the anger. First half 3, second half 3. Beat Man U, like, beat them to the point where they will have to get rid of the manager. Because, Boga, this squad is solid squad. Sesko, Mbumo, Cunha, Bruno Fernandes. Hey. Charlie, I
Look,
can't do this thing again.
If
This
you're
10 months,
a
I can't do
Manchester
again.
United fan, yeah, it's in your interest that United lose this weekend. It's a shame that the team that will bring you happiness or that will start the process of bringing you happiness has to be Chelsea. And if you know Chelsea fans, if they beat Man United, they'll remind you until the kingdom
That one
comes.
we don't care.
But right now, it's not the most important thing.
We need a fever.
Amarim needs to be sacked. And if it means Chelsea beating Manchester United, I'll gladly take it. Because I have said that every time you watch Man United, the team does not look coached. Look, the whole 3-5-2, 3-4-3 is just on paper. There is no structure on the pitch. And that performance against Man City, it was heartbreaking because City did not dominate Man United the damage was done between 5 to 7 minutes maximum, but it was a familiar pattern. And for those of you who have not watched Bruno Fernandes post-match comments, go and watch it. He said exactly the same thing, and I believe I'm not alone. Anyone who opened their eyes, they would have seen it. So United started the game with a midfield base of 2, Bruno and Ugarte. When United had the ball and City wanted it, City pressed with 4. TG Reinders, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Phil Foden. Occasionally, one of Dogu and Haaland will join them. But Haaland was often the man waiting in the wings, waiting to do the damage. So what that meant was that each time United were being pressed by City, it was 4v2 or 5v2. You can't survive this. Against Fulham, it was the same. In the second half against Arsenal, in the first half, Arsenal realized that they could not press Manchester United into mistakes. So they retreated and they started their mid-press. So when you get close, they unleashed their 4 on you. United were forced to send the ball wide or they would lose it. The fact that that was happening, and you see, I keep telling people that if I saw it, Amarim also saw it. If we saw it, Amarim also saw it. He saw it in a more magnified, more detailed manner because this is what he's educated to do. He's educated to make sense of real game tactical scenarios and their implications. So he saw it better than any of us. The problem, however, is that unlike the rest of us who only see it and explain it, Amarim has to see it, understand it, and come up with a solution that will counter it while still maintaining the balance of his team. And that is where coaches earn their money. Unfortunately for Amarim, I don't think he's capable of fixing that problem. That is why he keeps saying that I will not change my tactics and my strategy. It is not because he's too stupid to see the flaws in it. He sees it. All those late third man runs that teams have been killing Manchester United with right from the days of Ten Hag that he inherited. And the lopsided attack that only creates opportunities for his least efficient players in attack. Dogu, because look, the very essence of coaching is to create the tactical scenarios that will allow your best players to be involved in the game, in the scenarios where they thrive the best. Any tactics or any tactic, any strategy that requires playing your best players out of position in a position where they cannot do the best damage on the opponent is inherently flawed. That is football tactics 101. So essentially, you are supposed to platform your best players to go and deliver. If the chances keep falling to your worst finishers, there is something wrong with the approach. That is why Amarim needs to ask himself some hard questions about how is it that always the player who has the option to either cut inside and bend it to the far post or go near post or cut back for someone making a third run to have a shot at goal, if he himself is Dogu.
Hey, the guy is sound.
Look, Amarim needs to ask himself some questions, but he needs to do that questioning away from Manchester United. He can go and do that introspection. United is not the place for that experiment. They should sack him. Quick. Sack him. That's why Saturday, I need Chelsea to do a damage for me. And you see, I don't like what Daniel said, but it is the truth. A 1-0 or a 2-1 where United look like they competed, it won't do the trick. The Ineos I have seen, they will play last with the guy and say that, oh, but they played well against City. They looked the better team in the second half. The XG was 1.59 or was it 1.6? Against Arsenal, they created the better openings, Burnley and all of it. I don't want that. 2-0, easy 3-1, then the game is over. And because of this, I'm praying that Cole Palmer is able to recover and play that game. Because my heart cannot take another week off Ruben Amarim and Manchester United. So Chelsea, we beg you, do Man United a favor. Yeah? Do Manchester United a favor and get this guy fired. There is no point going into which tactical scenarios will favor Manchester United and which situations Chelsea need to create to. Chelsea needs to win this game for my peace of mind. Look, we're going to end the preview session with the big game on Sunday. Arsenal are taking on Manchester City. I think that game is at 4 p.m. Daniel, Arteta has lost one big game already this season. Unlike the one against Liverpool, this time, there's like no margin for error as far as Arsenal's title credentials are concerned. Is there?
No, Arsenal has to win. Honestly, I think they will win. In recent seasons, they've shown, especially at the Emirates, they've won the last 2 games against Man City at the Emirates. I think it's 6-1 on aggregate. They've won 1-0, then they beat City 5-1 last season. The thing is, City coming from the Manchester derby win, the win against Napoli in the Champions League, I think it will give them a huge boost going into the game. But the thing is, they will have to break down this Arsenal team, which is very, very difficult. The only goal Arsenal have conceded this season is that free kick Liverpool scored. So the thing, some way, like Arsenal are really looking really good defensively on paper. And then there's always a threat of the set pieces, which Man City themselves don't defend too well. And to be frank, Arsenal have been much better in open play this season, creating a lot more chances. Madueke did really well over the weekend. City themselves have their problems. In as much as, yes, they got that 3-0 win over Man U, we still saw how United were able to open them up. It was down to poor decision making and, to be frank, exceptional goalkeeping from Donnarumma. And that's another factor that a lot more people need to start paying attention to. Like now Donnarumma is in this Man City team. They are not going to, they may concede chances, but they will not concede the goals as many goals as they were last season. So he's going to chop down quite a number of goals. But I think Arsenal are in a much better position to win the game. I don't know if Odegaard will play. I think Odegaard is injured. And to be frank, he's on way. He's not that reliable. But I will need Arteta to play a more creative replacement and not Merino. You can't go into that Man City game playing Rice, Merino, and then Zubimendi. That thing, it takes a lot out of the Arsenal team. He needs a more creative. I will play Waneri in that position to give them
fluidity.
When Rice is bombing down, helping Izzy, and Waneri is helping Madueke on the other side, like it's more exciting. It's scary, to be frank. And Calafiori too is bombing down. What's his name? Timber too is bombing down. Yeah. It gives you more options. And to be frank, this Man City team is not a team where you go and sit and play contained football. Take the game to them. They are openings. You create chances. And again, Arsenal also need to remember, whereas you would have needed 2 chances to score 1 goal against Man City last season, you are going to need 5 to score 1 because Donnarumma is there.
Yeah.
So it is very important that they give themselves that edge in terms of chance creation to create much more chances in the game against Man City. But I think Arsenal will get the job done. And if I don't care if it's 1-0, 2-1, 0.5-0, just win.
All right. That's our show for today. We have looked back on the Champions League games from midweek. It looks like there were no real upsets. Yeah, Liverpool won, Barcelona won, Real Madrid, Manchester City won, Bayern beat Chelsea by 3-1. And we have essentially run the rule over Ruben Amarim's tenure in charge and preview the Arsenal Man City game and Man United Chelsea games as well. They're significant games for the weekend. We'll see you next week, hopefully with more interesting news for your favorite club.